Hi there. The other day, I, with the prompting of a friend, decided to call a show called The Atheist Experience, which is in Austin, Texas. This is a weekly show that promotes atheism and where atheists are in the world today and their beliefs and their feelings about things. Um, I had some reservations about calling into the show. I didn't really have any expectations that they would want to hear what I had to say. I decided to talk about my first experience receiving God's love, and if you're interested in the call that I made, then I'll leave a link in the description to the video and a timestamp for you to check it out. But one thing that I learned from this experience is that atheists and all of us have this opportunity to have some faith that there might be a God above us, there might be a creator. Um, and this is something that I've been struggling with recently, so it's been particularly momentous for myself. This whole idea of faith and the whole idea of free will. Um, I ask myself whether we really have free will or if God is, through her laws, kind of cornering us into a place where we have to respond, we have to act. Um, and even as I say that, I can see that I still have some issues with that. So I, it's not like everything is resolved, but what I want to share is this reflection that I had after I made the call to the show. I I had a reflection where I was actually talking to another friend through a phone call, and some things kind of came together for me. I thought about the time that I was an atheist myself, that I called myself an atheist because I felt that the religion that I was raised in wasn't really giving me the answers. There was a lot of contradiction, and religion generally doesn't seem to agree, you know, and what if this is all just a massive delusion? All of the truth seeking that anyone is doing, all of the investment into beliefs that we collectively have invested ourselves into. What if it's all just, for naught? And and I moved away from that. I remember I was talking to someone at work, and he was a very intelligent man, and I asked him whether he was an atheist because I was sure he was, because he was such a smart guy. I mean, I felt like if you're so smart, you have to come to that conclusion. And he said no. And I prodded him and asked him, why is that? And he said, well, they don't know everything. Something to that effect. Basically, he made a profound point to me at that critical juncture in my life to say that, you know, just because you don't believe in God doesn't mean you know. And it strikes me, and what I reflected on with my friend after the call into the show, is that we really do have a choice. We have a choice to say that emotions that we have aren't real. They're just a function of our brain and our hormonal system. If I feel happy, if I feel ebullient, if I feel joyful, if I feel angry, if I feel sad, scared, that's just hormones rushing through my system. Um, we have a choice to say that all that we see is just in the material universe. It's all physical. And there's nothing beyond. There's nothing metaphysical or superphysical or extra physical. There's nothing that we can test or experiment with beyond this physical reality. Or, and we can say there's no God. We can say, because I haven't been presented with good enough proof or evidence of God, and because I see so much, contradiction and immorality in the religious world, well, that would seem to suggest there is no God, there is no creator. So, what I concluded was, we really do have that choice. The opposite choice to that is that we say maybe there is a God. What if there is a God? What would that mean? What would that portend? And we can take steps in that direction and say, if there is a God, is God loving? Does God love me? Something for myself is that I feel like I might reach a certain level, and then God will laugh and cackle at me and say, ha ha ha, I tricked you. God might be the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz. He's a sad little man. There's a book, the Golden Compass series. Forget what was his Dark Materials trilogy, I think is what it was. And God is this meanie, this old meanie. So I have a belief that maybe God is that, but I have this choice to say that, to deny the idea of God, to just continue my entire life and ignore any possibility that there might be a God, or I can choose to believe. And it really is a choice, because these atheists are making that choice, and God isn't really stopping them, and they are working out their own ethics and their own sense of morality, and trying to mete out, or eke out an existence for themselves that is meaningful to them and good for them and for the people they associate with, their family, their friends, their enemies. So I don't feel like I can come down hard on them, and I feel like I understand the atheist perspective in many ways. I don't think that they treated me very well on the show, but I can understand that they're coming from a certain perspective, and they're trying to maintain that perspective. And while I might not have encouraged the people who host the show very much, maybe there was someone else who listened to what I had to say and were moved a little bit. What I shared was that something happened to me when I was 14 years old. I had what I now understand, what I now believe, is an inflow of love into my soul. It was a very, very powerful experience. And, I want to spend my life trying to understand what happened. Basically, I want to know what that was. Was that God? I doubt. Often if that was God, even Jesus says that, what do you think is love from God might just be spirits, Maybe that's what happened to me. I don't know. I don't feel that I know for certain. I feel that it was God, but I doubt my feelings all the time, so. But I want to spend my life trying to prove whether that's God or not. And in my process right now, in my experience right now, I'm dealing with a lot of resistance in myself and a lot of anger that I don't want to feel, don't want to get into. So that's me. But I want to drive the point home that, you have this choice. You have the choice to have faith in the idea that there is a God. You can say to yourself, maybe there is. Maybe there is a personality, a being, an entity behind what I see. Maybe someone put time and energy and love and thought and feeling and their own motivation into the creation of myself. I am an entity in myself, and I have feelings, and I want things, and I am part of this dynamic universe, you know? And maybe someone wanted me to have this experience, wanted me to have this experience of life. Sorry, just saying that makes me feel a little emotional. So I don't want to get emotional because I don't want to make it about me, so I'm going to maybe cry afterward. Anyway, so you have that choice, and you have the choice to act on faith in that idea and ask whether there is a God, and look and research and seek, because in seeking you shall find. So that I reflected on that with my friend, and it was very powerful for me. And I wish that people would take the opportunity in their own lives. And if you don't, amazingly, God still loves you. So, yeah, I'm getting too emotional, so I'm going to end it here.